Hey everybody, my name's Corbin, but I'll typically be introducing myself as Psychroclasm on the channel. Just wanted to make a short video explaining a little bit about myself and where I want to go with the channel going forward. Last November, I was diagnosed with major depression and suicidal ideation. I was put in a program and I was treated, and I've been doing a lot better. But while I was in the midst of that depression, I was isolating myself. I didn't want to put my problems on anybody else, and I didn't know who I could trust to tell that I'm very close to injuring myself. I put a lot of friendships by the wayside for that, and now that I'm out of the program, I want to go about rebuilding those and even getting some new ones. And I wanted to start out with a PSA. If you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. They're available 24 hours a day, and you don't have to be the one having suicidal thoughts to be calling them. They are equipped to help you help others. You could be saving a life. Don't hesitate. Even if you're not having suicidal thoughts, even if you just think you may be depressed, talk to a doctor. General practitioners are usually equipped to deal with mild to moderate depression, and even if they can't, they can help you get in touch with someone who can. Right. PSA over. For those who don't want to go to a doctor, and I completely get it, some of you can't go to a doctor. That's fine. I was one of those people for a very long time. This book right here, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, 7 Ways to Freedom from Anxiety, blah, 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 blah. The title sounds like a terrible, way too happy self-help book. It's not. I got it after I got out of the program, and, having what we learned there to fall back on, it's actually a really good, brief, but accessible introduction to cognitive behavioral therapy that will help you recognize the behaviors and thought patterns in yourself and others that identify depression. And they have some tools in there to help you work against your depression and maybe get a little bit better. And there's also another book. It's actually a workbook, another cognitive behavioral therapy book. It's not necessarily related, but it has a lot of the same tools and worksheets that we used when I was in the program. And I keep both of these on hand, and I review them periodically to make sure I'm not falling back into old behaviors and going back to the way I was. So, now that that's out of the way. Sorry, camera got shaky. But I started watching Markiplier earlier this year. And you always see people in the comments saying he's brightened their days. He's, helped them through a rough time. And sometimes they're even like, you saved me from suicide. And sometimes he has bad days. And there's just this amazing outpouring of love from the community he's built up. And they seem to make his day better. I'm not trying to be the next Markiplier. I'm not trying to turn this into a career option. But I do want a little bit of what he's got. He's someone that's improved the lives of people he's never met. He interacts with strangers in chat or on Twitter like they're his best friends. And I'm interested in that. I want to find people, regardless of location, that share my interests, and I want to be able to start new relationships being completely genuine, something that I'm really not used to. A lot of my depression came from being dishonest about who I was. And I didn't want to put, my real thoughts and feelings out there because I was afraid of, not having people around me that loved me. But the interesting thing is, here on the internet, I can just put my genuine self out there into the void, and people who share my opinions, my values, my interests can all come together in one place. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I want you guys to do all the work and be my friends so I don't have to look for them. So if you're still here, I want to thank you for hearing me out. I'm totally reading this. I should have learned it by now. This is take... God, this is 7? But, thanks for hearing me out. Even if you don't stick around for the other videos, thanks for listening to my story, and I hope that I can help even one person who's going through a rough time. Want to talk about the channel. You may be shocked by this, but my channel is not going to be about depression and suicide or even recovery. I mean, it's kind of about my recovery, but only in the way that I'm trying to use the channel for my recovery. I'm not actually going to mention it anymore. I'm just trying to compartmentalize all this away from the rest of the content so that it doesn't become a necessary function of the channel, but anybody who wants to interact with me on a slightly deeper level can have access to the information, and we can build up a stronger bond from that. The channel's going to be Let's Plays. I've got an enormous backlog. Like, I've got around 300 games on Steam. Humble Bundle back in the day was a hell of a drug. Like, if they put out a bundle with one game you wanted, you could pay whatever you wanted for that game and then get a whole bunch of other ones basically for free. I'm not a total dick. I wasn't one of those people that was like, I'll pay a penny and then I'll get 20 games. I tried to beat the average, But what that resulted in is a boatload of games that I don't know the plot of. I don't know if I even want to play them. But, they're in my Steam library taking up space because they were free. And I don't think that's necessarily fair to the developers of those games. There's gotta be something worthwhile in the pile, And I think it would be nice if I could find those nice things in the pile. But it's not just that. I have an entirely separate backlog of games that I haven't played or haven't finished for one reason or another. And they're not new games. You might see me playing Fatal... I want to play the Fatal Frame series. I know, super old, but my parents actually took ratings seriously. But yeah, like Fatal Frame, Silent Hill. I've played the first two games in both of those series. Or I've played the first game in both of those series, and I really don't know how I want to do that going into the channel. It's like, should I just go straight to the ones I haven't played, or should I do a run through them again, knowing where everything is with no surprises, just to make sure I have the whole series on the channel? I don't really know yet. I will be doing newer games occasionally. Like, I might be doing a Prey run, but I'll do it with alien powers only, just so I can add something new for myself to a game that I've already played, and a game that everybody's done a Let's Play for. And of course, I'll occasionally be doing old favorites, just because I want to. Like the Spyro trilogy, I want to start out with those, because the remastered trilogy is coming out, and I'm having a really hard time containing my excitement about it. So I'm probably going to start by redoing those. And just for funsies, I think I'm going to do trivia about the levels, or just fun facts about the levels to fill in the gaps where I'm not commenting, because it's going to take me some getting used to. I'm talking to a camera right now, and I've never really done that before, so as I get used to that, as I get used to editing, recording, whatever, The content of the channel might change, but that's the basic premise. I also want to kind of think about getting together a list of the games that I haven't played, and then maybe setting up like a voting system for which one I do next, but don't really have subscribers right now to put that vote to, so I'll come up with something maybe like a random number generator. We'll see. I'll work something out. Last thing, channel isn't monetized and can't do sponsorships right now, and I'm not really planning to, just unless, I run out of games to play. Yeah, hundreds of games. If I run out of games to play and I just can't afford more to keep the channel going, I don't see that happening. But if you're just feeling charitable, look into the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation. They're based out of New York. 100% of their research donations go to their research grants. Their expenses are funded by completely separate grants. Let's see. Oh, separate foundation grants, actually. But they only give grants to the scientists that they have personally vetted with their in-house scientific council. It's a great cause. They're highly recommended by Consumer Reports. And even if you're not looking to, give out of your pocket, or if you don't have the ability to give out of pocket, if you know somebody who uses Amazon, or if you do yourself, they are eligible for Amazon Smile donations. It costs you nothing. Just log into smile.amazon.com. Put them in as your charity of choice, and every time you buy from them, they'll get a small portion of the proceeds. Thanks for watching. Again, all the books and websites and stuff I listed should be down in the description below. I've never done video recording or editing before, so it'll probably be a little bit rough at first, and probably after at first, but hopefully I'll get better at it. Until next time, be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you around.